Hello and welcome to the Ottawa Herald's 2012 primary candidate interviews. I'm Crystal Herber with the Herald. This is Republican incumbent for Franklin County Commission, Ed Taylor. He is running for District 2, and let's get started.
Okay.
What was your initial reason for running for Commissioner 12 years ago?
Gosh, that's almost too far back to remember, but I had Tom Wygand was a commissioner for our district back then, and he had decided not to run, and he approached me about running, and I had several other business leaders ask me about running. I had previously owned Taylor Surveying and had considered running before, but I didn't think that I ever had time about being a business owner. But I had sold my business and decided, I might want to do it.
Has that reason changed at all now?
No, I don't know that anything has changed. I'm very interested in county government. It's been a good process. It's been a learning process. We've seen a lot of change in county government since I've been on, and I believe for the best. And I would like to be, given the opportunity to do one more 4-year term.
What is your political platform, and how have you instituted that platform throughout your time in office?
I think one of the biggest things that I am very proud of is that even before I was on the county commission, I was always an advocate for having a county administrator. I thought it was ridiculous to have an $18–20 million budget, 230, 240 employees, and not have someone there in charge every day to answer questions or be responsible. I used to liken the county to a business, and it is a business even though it's government, that no one would have a business with that size budget or employees and have 3 to 5 people come in part-time a couple of days a week to run that business. It just doesn't work. You need someone there every day to make it happen.
What committees do you sit on currently, and if elected, would you be willing to change those committees or be on a different one? In 12 years, I've been the chairperson 6 times. So the chairperson normally sits on the OFCED, which would, I guess, now be called the FCDC. I've served on ECAN. I've been on the RC&D. I have served on the hospital board for the last 8 years. It depends on whether you're chairperson or it has a lot. We switch around the boards. Okay. What aspect of county government makes you want to continue in office?
I think the service that we provide to the citizens, try to make Franklin County. I'm interested in the growth for Franklin County. I'd like to think that the things that we do make it a better place to work, to live, raise our family.
Based on the number of residents that attend the weekly commission meetings, resident participation in county government is pretty low. How would you work to combat that problem and get people to participate in their government?
I don't think that you can ever, I'm not going to say you can't change it, but I don't believe that you will. Typically, people do not come out or get involved in county government unless there's an issue that pertains to them particularly. If it's not, quote, in my backyard. We tried having night meetings. We've tried every way we thought to make people get involved, and it simply doesn't happen. Unless there's an issue that affects you personally, most people are not going to come out.
Is that frustrating as a board member?
I don't think so.
And why would you say that is?
I think you make a lot of decisions based on numbers, on facts. People just are not going to come out unless it affects them personally. But I don't think that's a deterrent from wanting to do the job.
How do you feel your working relationship is with not only the other board members, but other county department heads?
I would feel I think very good. In 12 years, there's been, I can't give you a number, but there's been a lot of different commissioners on there. In 12 years, I've served as a chairperson 6 times, and I think I've been the vice chairman once, maybe twice. So I think that says that I had the support or confidence from most of the other commissioners. As far as department heads, once we went to the administrative form of government, we do not have near as much, we don't have really the direct contact with the department heads like we used to. But I think I would say that I have a good relationship with all of the department heads.
And the other elected officials in the county, you feel likewise?
I would think so, for the most part.
Okay. What is something in your 12 years in office that you worked to get passed through the board that you're particularly proud of?
County administrator. County administrator, another 2 things that I really pushed for and was instrumental in getting done. I was an advocate for the human resource department and getting the payroll department moved out, getting it moved into out to the annex. But I thought that the HR department was very important.
Is there something in particular that got passed during your time in office that you're not really proud of, that you wish maybe had gone a different way?
I can't really think of anything right now. I'll think about it as we talk.
Franklin County is primarily an agricultural county. What policies have you helped to put in place that help farmers? And are there any in the works?
I don't know that I can think of any specific resolutions or legislation that we have done to protect farming or to help farming. I can't think of.
How approachable do you feel you are as a commissioner? Are people able to come to you with their concerns?
I personally feel that I'm very approachable. Our phone numbers are on the website. We're in the phone book. I have people quite frequently call. I attend City of Richmond, City of Williamsburg, city meetings. I would think that I'm very approachable.
Okay.
I hope that I am.
What is the primary concern of the constituents in your district, and how have you addressed those concerns?
I think, as always, public safety, roads are a big issue. I think the roads are better now than they've ever been in Franklin County. Safety, I believe, quality of life is very good right now overall in Franklin County.
How important is it to you to address some of those concerns, the road and the continuing public safety, prior to the election?
I don't think it's any more important prior to the election than it would be after the election. I think it has equal importance. I don't believe that I would make any decisions based on the election.
Your competitor is one of the main players in the interlocal agreement debate. As commissioner both at the initial passing of the agreement and the recent debates, how do you feel the compromise came out?
I believe if you look back, the compromise that was made, I made the proposal to do. I suggested that originally when we passed the interlocal agreement, I was underthinking that it would not have any effect on existing tracts. It would only pertain to new subdivisions, new commercial developments, and that was what we revised it to affect. So if you live in Greenwood Estates and you've got an existing home there and you wanted to do an addition on your home, you would still come to the county, get your building permit, and it would be inspected there. The new agreement only affects a new subdivision or commercial development. I've got a number of the residents, and I'm going to use Greenwood Estates for an example, but got a number of residents to say that they actually like the interlocal agreement because it gives more eyes watching and protection for their property. Because 98% of the people won't be affected by it. Only if you're going to put in a new subdivision, which hasn't happened in several years. I don't know of any in the working right now.
The part of the recent debates with the interlocal agreement was the passing of that memorandum of understanding. Do you think that helped clarify things for your constituents?
Oh, I do. I think it cleared it up a lot.
Do you feel like you, as a board member, listened to your constituents during that process and addressed their concerns through that?
Yes, I did.
Would you possibly support rescinding the entire agreement in 2016 when it's up?
That's too far out to see. I don't think you can make a decision right now what might happen. I would have to see how things have been handled between 2012 and 2016. Okay. I wouldn't say I would, or I wouldn't say I wouldn't. But many people kept saying that we should rescind it. We cannot rescind it right now. We have a legal document that we agreed to, and we're bound to live by. And we'll see how things go between now and then.
You say you have a good grasp on how county government works after 12 years. That being said, would you say you are able to adapt well to the ever-changing problems commissioners face?
I think so. I believe so. I think that in 12 years, I've also graduated from the KAC, the Kansas Association of Counties, 40-hour training for commissioners. I went to that, attended that. There's ongoing continuing education all year long through the KAC. We have an annual KAC meeting, and we have also an annual KCCA, which is County Kansas Commissioners Association only. And we attend those. There's a lot of good learning at each one of those. So we do continuing education every year to try to keep us up on the current conditions.
Should you win this year's election, are you planning on running again in 2016?
I wouldn't even speculate on that. That's just like I said on the previous question. That's too far out. Never.
What do you see is the future of Franklin County, and how are you as a commissioner going to help the county reach that future?
I think the future of Franklin County is very good. I think the economy is kind of starting to turn around. I think with the intermodal going in Gardner or Edgerton, our proximity to Kansas City with the interstates, our proximity to Lawrence with the new highway opening up, we've got railroads. I think we're in a great place to be. I think we will get a lot of spin-off of the intermodal. I think we're in a growth mode.
What can the commissioners do to help continue that growth?
I've always been a big proponent of what was OFCED, the FC, Franklin County Development Council. I'm a big supporter of them. A lot of people say they don't do enough, but I think that they do a lot. You know, it's kind of like fishing. You throw a hook out a lot of times, and you don't always catch a fish, but when you catch a Walmart DC or you catch an American Eagle, when you land one of these, it takes a lot of time and a lot of work, and you don't get one every day. But when you do, it pays off. And I believe that in order to keep the tax base down for the individual person, commercial development, industrial development is what we need. It pays back so many more times more than a single rooftop.
Being a longtime incumbent, do you think that increases your re-election chances?
Well, I hope that it does. I've got the experience, I've got the education that I have and the background, I think make me a good candidate for the county commission. I think that 12 years, it's a learning experience on the commission as well as anything, and I don't think that there's no substitute for being on there.
got a couple of questions from our readers. Reader Dia Sitlington asked, do you think there should be term limits at the local level?
I wouldn't be opposed to it. I don't know if it's I think that I'm a very big proponent. I think there should be term limits once you get up into the federal level. I think that maybe have some longer terms, but I don't think you should be able to be on there forever and I think it has too much of a probability you get to self-serving and you kind of lose your sight. I don't know if there's a plus or minus on the local level. I can't answer that.
Okay. Reader Linda Reed asks, now that Franklin County has a county administrator, do you think the salaries of the county commissioners should be lowered?
No, I think right now, if you look around at the surrounding counties, we're probably the lowest, or either the lowest or the next to lowest of any 5 or 6 counties around here. Coffee County, Miami, make way more than we do. I don't think that they should be lowered.
Reader Cody Kaiser wants to know how you propose that we become fiscally responsible as a county.
I believe that we already are physically responsible. I don't know of anything that we particularly need to change. I think I could answer that question better if I knew exactly what he was pertaining to, but I believe that Franklin County is physically responsible.
And as far as one of your big things is to make sure that taxpayer money is spent responsibly, how are you as a commissioner ensuring that for the taxpayers of Franklin County?
I think that was one of the things that one of my reasons for supporting the administrator, to make sure that someone is there running the ship every day.
And how is your campaign going so far?
Pretty low key. I'm not, I've never, in the 12 years, I've never done much, put out some few signs, maybe run an ad or two in the Herald, 1 or 2 spots on the radio. I feel like from being a former business owner here to the 12 years I've been on there, that the majority of people know me. So my campaign is pretty low key.
How have you been received by the constituents in your district?
Very well.
Well, that's all the questions I have. Again, I'm Crystal Herber with the Herald, and this is Ed Taylor, Republican incumbent for the 2nd District of Franklin County Commissioners. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.